Yeah, my entire PC just shut down, so I don't know what this is necessarily about. I had to like actually look into this real quick. Um, part of my thing, I don't like CNN. I fucking hate CNN. I think they are serious cuts. I had to like actually see. They pretty much let MAGA people come on here and say literally anything with no pushback. Like they don't even like question half the shit. They just let them fucking rant for they'll let Mike Johnson rant for like 10 minutes uncontested. It's like, what the fuck? I thought this was liberal media. Apparently not.
Also been criticized for your comments. The shooting, we should note, was Wednesday at 10:37 a.m. Eastern. Just over 2 hours later, the Department of Homeland Security put out a statement definitively asserting.
I kind of am ready for tonight, but it's also on Unreal Engine, so I'm definitely ready to just crash a million times.
What had happened, defending the ICE agent, accusing Renee Good of domestic terrorism. That's a characterization that you reiterated in a press conference half an hour later. Now, Republican Senator Tom Tillis said, quote, "It was very unusual to have a senior law enforcement official to draw a conclusion about an event where the scene was still being processed. Generally speaking, law enforcement would recognize that a life was lost, that families are changed forever, the shooter's life will change forever. We're collecting video, we're trying to assess the situation." Why did you not wait for an investigation before making your comments?
Okay, very good question here by him, but not enough. Her coming out and just flat out saying that Renee Good was a domestic terrorist is an enormous issue, because this is something that Trump and the rest of the administration does for literally everything that ever happens. Domestic terrorism is a deliberate threat to try to cause fear in the public. That's what terrorism is, okay? Terrorism is trying to literally scare the public. What the fuck was some mom in a minivan doing to try to cause fear to the masses? What the fuck is that claim? They said, oh, they also came out and they said Luigi Mangione, when he shot Brian fucking Thompson, was a domestic terrorist, which that didn't make any fucking sense, because, I mean, what Luigi Mangione did was for the public. They also contradicted each other because they said she's a domestic terrorist, but also said she's a paid protester. So, like, which, yeah. Also, hi, Molly. Yeah, which is it? Like,
oh, well, everything that I've said has been proven to be factual.
see, JMT.
This administration wants to operate in transparency. I have the responsibility as the Secretary of Homeland Security to know this information.
That was a lie. If they wanted to operate in transparency, they wouldn't have put out the Epstein Transparency Act, and then in the act specifically state that they're not allowed to redact names based off of embarrassment or political ideology, and then they redacted Trump's name and other people's names out the wazoo. What the fuck?
As soon as possible. Had just been in Minneapolis the day before, had already had conversations with officers on the ground and supervisors, and knew the facts, and decided that the department and the people of this country deserve to know the truth of the situation of what had unfolded in Minneapolis.
But with all due respect, Secretary, the
No.
first thing you said was,
No respect. Taper is such a pussy. What do you mean, all due respect? Dude, legacy media, you guys are such pussies, dude. Oh my god, you just basically let her say, we knew it. We knew she was a domestic terrorist. We knew the facts prior. And then she just doesn't give any evidence. What do you mean, all due respect? Where's your evidence?
quote, "What happened was our ICE officers were out in an enforcement action. They got stuck in the snow because of the adverse weather that is in Minneapolis. They were attempting to push out their vehicle, and a woman attacked them and those surrounding them and attempted to run them over and rammed them with her vehicle." That's not what happened. We all saw what happened.
It absolutely is what happened. Those officers had been out in enforcement action. A vehicle had been stuck. They had come to help get that vehicle out. That's when this individual started blocking traffic for minutes and minutes.
You said that the woman attacked them and surrounded.
She blocked traffic, even though there was an entire side of the road that they could have came by. Yeah, she definitely was like protesting or like trying to stop ICE from. She definitely was infringing on like the investigation, which I personally believe. I'm not like a leftist. I consider myself in between leftist and liberal at this point ideologically. Never as like a voter. I've never really been a big Democrat voter. I don't like Democratic politicians. The way that I've generally voted has been relatively centrist, unbelievably, but I don't respect ICE, and I don't think that like shooting somebody is like a correct reaction to somebody trying to stop you like by blocking the road. She did. She also did literally wave one car forward, and then she continued to wave another ice vehicle forward, and then they literally got out and started like harassing her afterward. But the other guy was the shooter was already outside the car, so the neighbor was recording as well. So this is literally her neighborhood. This was literally her fucking turf, dude. Like, what the fuck? I don't think that federal agents have they do have, but I don't think they should have the authority to just fucking shoot whoever they want. And they do have, just this administration is fucking evil.
Them and attempted to run them over and ram them with their vehicle.
Blocked the road for a long time and was yelling at them and impeding a federal law enforcement investigation.
Was yelling at them? That's such an irrelevant fucking thing to throw in there. Oh, they was yelling at them. Shut the fuck up.
That's what you need to focus on, Jake, is they were breaking the law by impeding and obstructing a law enforcement operation. They were breaking the law already, and these officers were doing their due diligence and what their training had prepared them to do to make sure they were handling it appropriately.
You said within hours of her being killed, you said that she was a domestic terrorist. How do you define domestic terrorist?
She weaponized her vehicle to conduct an act of violence against a law enforcement.
No, she did not, because she literally turned away from her intent was very much to turn away from that. My personal perspective of this is in court, it's going to be the prosecution's okay, one second, I gotta get the baby in a minute. My personal perspective of this is in court, the prosecution is gonna be like, okay, this guy was literally acting out of the DHS, which specifically, like, the mandates and the statutes, they prohibit shooting into a motor vehicle. Even if she was using the motor vehicle as a weapon, which she wasn't, there has to be an external, like a third thing, like a gun that she has. Literally, okay, I'm gonna have to pull up the fucking statutes, aren't I? There's the DOJ, fucking, what was it? I'm just gonna type this and it'll... This is literally federal. Yeah, it was the 1-16. This is literally like one of the most important pieces, I think. I'm sure the stuff used in the glove bots had massive. Yeah, literally, that was such a fucking threat. Right here. Firearms may not be discharged solely to disable moving vehicles. Specifically, firearms may not be discharged at a moving vehicle unless, 1, a person in the vehicle is threatening the officer or another person with deadly force by means other than the vehicle. So like a weapon, like if she had like a fucking shotgun and she was trying to blast them from outside. Because part of this is that shooting into a moving vehicle, regardless, is going to cause more like concerns. Like you could shoot into... you could fuck up the car to a point where the car might explode or something. I don't fucking know. Yeah, it's literally this is a statute from the Department of Justice. What? That's so fucking dumb. I think the defense for the shooter in court is going to simply be his perception. I went over this with my law enforcement buddy. His perception of her intent was that she was trying to hit him. But I don't even think that will hold up, specifically because her last words were literally, "I'm not mad at you." She was literally trying to be like nice. All she did was block the road, bro, and then she tried to turn away from you. She bumped the dude for 0 damage. He took 0 damage.
Enforcement officer and the public.
How
so
can
as
you
they are doing that,
how can you assert with certainty?
Taper. Oh my god, see, they just keep asking fucking like interview questions. Bro, call her out on the bullshit. Say, no, that's not how domestic terrorism works. And she did not do that. It was very clear that she turned her wheel all the way to the right and that the fucking tires were completely turned to the right. Dude was standing in front of a vehicle. You're supposed to jump the fuck out of the way.
That she was trying to hurt the officer as opposed to she was trying to flee the scene.
if you look at what the definition of domestic terrorism is, it completely fits
the DOJ. Is it a federal statute? Yeah, it's the DOJ. Department of Justice is a federal. It's part of the executive branch, isn't it? That's the Department of Justice that Donald Trump weaponizes to try to prosecute his political opponents, and there's like clear evidence of that, and not a single president in the history of the United States has ever had any kind of evidence of ever weaponizing the DOJ against political opponents. What the fuck, bro?
Situation on the ground. This individual, as you saw in the video that we released just 48 hours after this incident, showed that this officer was hit by her vehicle. She weaponized it, and he defended his life and those colleagues around him.
Defended his life, brother. Oh my God, she's retarded. You can't. If she was going to run him over with the car, shooting her isn't going to stop the car. She would have just gotten ran over.
In the public.
What?
The question is, I don't doubt. My position is.
Yeah, true. Oh, shut the fuck up, you dumb ad. Yeah, Trump will literally just pardon. Yeah, just Trump's gonna pardon everybody. I personally, I have like Destiny's perspective of this. I think every single fucking position, every person, or every official that has supported for or voted for Donald Trump and Trump 2 is guilty, should be investigated for insurrection. And if they get a preemptive pardon for insurrection from Trump, like preemptively before he leaves office, then that should immediately disbar them. That means they're immediately guilty because that's what a pardon is. That means that they've been found guilty. So if you preemptively pardon these people for insurrection, that should immediately disbar them from running for office again. That's what I think. And if that doesn't happen, and if Democrats don't do that, that's going to be so fucking dumb. That's going to set a precedent that the next Trump could be liberal. The next Trump could be a leftist. The next Trump could be a libertarian. I don't fucking know. The next Trump could be some crazy motherfucker that isn't even right. Like, you need to set a precedent that this shit is not okay to do. You can't just act unilaterally all the time.
There, I didn't see it. Some people say that it clearly showed that she was trying to hit him and did. Some people say, no, she was clearly trying to move her car and flee and get away. I don't know.
What do you mean don't know, bro? It's literally on video. It's so unbelievable, dude. Oh, my God. Republicans discovering accidents in 2026 was not on my bingo list. From a woman, we want to hit a car. We aren't going to almost or barely hit you. You're going to literally run them over directly. You're going to be underneath the wheel. You're going to be inside the framing. I'm surprised he hasn't just offered a preemptive pardon for all of ICE. He probably will. I can't believe, because they're literally a Gestapo. They have a bigger budget than the Marines now. They have a bigger budget than any military in the entire world, bro. What the fuck is happening, dude? They're literally weaponized politically.
I'm saying is, how do you know? How can you assert for a fact within hours before any investigation, this is what happened?
The facts of the situation are that the vehicle was weaponized and it attacked the law enforcement officer. He defended himself and he defended those individuals around him. That is the definition. When there is something that is weaponized to use against the public and law enforcement, that is an act of domestic terrorism. It happened in our shores. It happened here in our country. You don't get to change the facts just because you don't like
domestic terrorism. Again, terrorism is literally to terrify the public. It's to try to bring fear. When fucking terrorists over in like Afghanistan were beheading U.S. citizens on camera and sending the video over to us, it was to try to scare the American public. That's what terrorism is. Terrorism isn't against like the authority figures. Terrorism is against like the general public. If anything, the word terrorism is more descriptive to what ICE is.
Them. We will continue to look at this individual and what her motivations were. We know
okay, so this is literally just she's full of shit and Taper's a pussy.
Impeded law enforcement operations. That raises the suspicion level with all of these law enforcement officers as far as paying attention to what her capacity is. And as you see on the videos, and they've proven out that this law enforcement officer took the action. That
you can't just say proven out without like going to court. You need to like prove it in court. This is going to be like a lawsuit. This needs to be like a lawsuit.
Training prepared him for. And he worked to make sure that he could save his own life and those around him.
How can you assert that there's no ambiguity in this before any investigation has taken place?
True. Okay, that's true.
Been in Minneapolis and had been with those officers, had seen what they were facing on the streets every day, and had talked to their supervisors as soon as the incident happened and had gotten the facts and seen videos before
I didn't think she could look past her eyelashes, honestly. I thought those were like fucking blinds. Like
ever went to talk
at
that press conference. And the Trump administration and President Trump is the most transparent and open government that we've ever had.
Oh my God, that is such a fucking retarded claim. Open and transparent. redacts him out of the Epstein files like crazy, and then fucking did it in Adobe Premiere Pro so goobers could just fucking copy and paste the redactions away from being redacted. Yeah, okay. Oh my God.
Give the public the information, give them what they need to know about a situation so they can have the truth as soon as possible.
So if this agent
It
perfectly
is.
fine,
100%.
everything he did was accurate, does that mean that other ICE agents should
He
look
wasn't
at what?
perfectly fine. He was injured. He went to the hospital.
No, his
No, he walked away. He took 0 damage. It's like in Kingdom Hearts when you hit somebody and it's like, womp. It's like, well, like, what? Did no damage to this guy. It very strongly just seems like they think repeating it will convince everyone. Yeah, because their fucking fan base is retarded. Because they just go on X and they get fed whatever. They just watch Asmongold or go to Newsmax or go to Fox News and they just listen to anything without critically analyzing anything. They don't sit there and actually research things. They don't read statutes. They don't do anything. They just consume what they want to consume based off of their algorithms on their social medias. He had to go to the hospital. He literally said fucking bitch and then walked away. He went to the vehicle afterward to check and see if she was dead, and he walked away completely fine. No limp, no concern for his own well-being. He didn't even go to the hospital. That's such a crock of shit. Oh man.
actions were fine. I didn't say.
In fact, I think a lot of people and guests, and even you yourself, called this situation something very different and untruthful about what it was, as far as
What did I say that was untruthful?
That this was not a correct definition of what was happening on the ground.
I said that your description, they were attempting to push out their vehicle and a woman attacked them and those surrounding them and attempted to run them over and ram them with her vehicle, is not what we see on the videotape, and it's not.
It absolutely is the facts of what happened on the ground that day. They were there pushing out a vehicle earlier. They had helped each other.
But that's not what you said. That's not what you said.
Yes,
they were pushing out a vehicle.
Absolutely what I said. There's not one thing.
We all have seen the video. I don't need to relitigate it. We've all seen the video. She is blocking the street. They approach her.
You haven't seen the video of the entire morning and the previous encounters with this.
Then where's that?
We have aired it. Yes, we have. On Thursday, we were airing and noting the fact that she was there for several minutes. For minutes and minutes and minutes, she was protesting without question.
And at previous locations.
Where's the rest of that? Someone linked it. Link it. Link it in my Discord.
Down the block on video that you haven't seen. There's more information.
But
that this
question
was
is not
impeding law enforcement operations throughout the previous moments and hours before this
the question is, what was she doing when she was moving her car?
The question
That's the question.
True. Why are we arguing with a president who's working to keep people safe? Why are we arguing with law enforcement operations that have gone on in this country for years, and we're working to collect murderers and rapists and drug traffickers and fraudsters?
This is the thing: murders, rapists, drug trafficking, and fraudsters. But that's what they say about anybody that's undocumented. They say if you're undocumented, you're all of these things. Like you're a murderer, a rapist, a fraudster, or a fucking this. It's like, how the fuck is the lack of a piece of paper evidence of like that? It's a 2 to 5 year immigration process that costs thousands of dollars. You think any desperate person that's gonna come over here, like maybe they're not fucking those things? So you think like what? How many times have we seen articles and actual convictions of U.S. citizens committing any of those crimes? How many citizens are out on the streets speeding every day? How many citizens run red lights? How many citizens commit assault? How many citizens get arrested for literally pushing drugs? How many of us know one guy from the hometown that still sells drugs in his 30s? What the fuck is happening? Should we start deporting U.S. citizens? Should we start fucking throwing them in the alligator Alcatraz? Just because they don't have, just because they have the piece of paper, because those are the bad guys, right? Because I could go out and get a million examples of citizens doing fucking awful illegal shit. What? Citizenship does not just make you not a murderer. Well, I'm a citizen. I can't possibly be a rapist. What the fuck? Holy shit, these people are fucking stupid. They think you are stupid. They think that we are fucking stupid.
Off the streets of Minnesota, and we don't have local law enforcement and local elected officials that are partnering with us to help do that work. Overwhelmingly, the people in this country said they wanted
my white cousin.
But they didn't want
relatable.
I would encourage the elected leaders in that city and in that state to work with us so that we can do our operations without the kind of opposition and people that are conducting and perpetuating the kind of violent rhetoric that we're seeing today.
DHS policy authorizes use of deadly force only, quote, when no reasonably effective, safe, and feasible alternatives appears to exist. Could he not have just gotten out of the way?
Now, this individual and this officer is a highly experienced law enforcement officer.
Highly experienced law enforcement officer can't do the Cupid shuffle. Oh my fucking god, bro was literally like a foot away from just not being hit by the vehicle. That is so unreal, dude. Can't even do the Cupid shuffle. Jesus.
He has years of training and specialized training for these types of
He's John Wick. It's Jason Bourne.
I'm grateful that he's alive. It's a tragic situation, and we're going to continue to work on the investigation into the individual. And find out
I'm having a good one today, guys.
We're grateful that that he's alive too. I want to play this moment from the officer's
Shut the fuck up.
cell phone video.
Discover Tucker's Cove at Babcock Ranch.
Fuck you,
The
Tucker's
ultimate-
Cove at Babcock Ranch. Want to hear about you? Skip. Yeah, this is okay. That is literally that's the worst perspective that they can provide, and it still doesn't prove their narrative. It literally shows her doing this to the wheel.
Is that
Away
David
from him.
Ross's voice calling Renee Good a fucking bitch?
I can't determine which one it is, but it could be, sir.
In June of last year, Agent Ross had his arm pinned in the back window of a car as an undocumented immigrant who was a criminal drove away from a traffic stop. It dragged him about 100 yards. Here's what Vice President...
Wait, did she say she can't like ascertain if that was his voice or not? Like, doesn't he work for you? Aren't you like don't you run like investigations? Oh, I can't. She's so full of shit.
in advance said about the incident this week.
Non-dominant hand to make sure he
That
could keep
very
recording while he shot
ICE
her. Yeah.
officer nearly had his life ended, dragged by a
Vance has been going. I forgot about this. JD Vance has been going insane on Twitter. Like, he is literally tweeting, bro.
car 6 months ago, 33 stitches in his leg. So you think maybe he's a little bit sensitive about somebody ramming him with an automobile?
He has PTSD. He has PTSD. Oh, did someone get addicted to crack? Oh my fucking god, dude. Cry me some fucking crocodile tears. Doesn't this prove that maybe he just wasn't fit for the position if he's afraid of cars? He got stitches in his leg. That means he has a right to shoot anybody in a car.
If this is relevant, first of all, it's horrible that that happened. If it's relevant,
Christ.
which the Vice President seems to think it is, do you think this understandably very traumatic event that this officer went through last June might have influenced, as the Vice President is suggesting happened, how he responded?
Now, there's no indication to that, but the facts is that we've seen vehicles weaponized over 100 times in the last several months against our law enforcement officers. So they definitely know that the
Yeah, by
threat is
ICE.
real. That individuals who are
ICE
trained
does
by
that.
activists to go out and to impede their law enforcement operations will weaponize their vehicles and
I
try
messed
to run
up.
them over and drag them and not stop.
How did I mess
so they
up?
certainly go into these situations with that knowledge that that could happen, and that's what their training prepares them for.
What evidence are you looking at that so many other people around the country look at and they say, it looked to me, her tires were turned to the right, she was moving her car, and they see a woman trying to flee. You say she was trying to kill the officer. No investigation has happened. Why are you so certain that your interpretation is the truth when an investigation hasn't even happened?
Jake, I'm watching the videos.
Other
I'm
people are
talking to
watching the
officers.
videos
I'm getting
and
the
coming to a
facts.
different conclusion.
Everything that we've stated as the Department of Homeland Security and this administration has been factual.
Oh, no.
And I wish we would talk factually about what we see every day. And I wish we would talk factually about what we see every day from these protesters, what they do, what they say, how they chant over and over. Kill ICE, attack law enforcement.
Yeah, literally because you guys say that. You guys say to kill lefties and shit. Like, you want civil war. You've been begging for civil war forever. The president of the United States has been begging for civil war for like ever. After Charlie Kirk got shot, before they even found out who the shooter was, they said this was a liberal. We're at war. Like, we're like, what the fuck is even happening? They're like, they're the victims in their eyes. They're the ones that caused all the problems. If they're worried about literally Democratic leadership, Democratic politicians, and Democratic media has like almost never been violent, has almost always disavowed violence, and then like, okay, sure, the fucking crazy lefty voters, like, do they go out and they riot? Sure, but the fucking all of the officials on the right, including the vice president and the president of the United States, literally deems left people as terrorists.
How they're trained to perpetuate violence against them and to stop the work that they do every day. Each of these law enforcement officers takes an oath to protect this country and uphold the law. They go out every day and enforce the laws of this country to keep people safe.
Laws do not equal morals.
These individuals that are out there harassing them while they do that work, doxing
As they
their
should, as they
identities,
should.
threatening them and their families.
Fuck
it's
them.
unacceptable.
It's not unacceptable. It's the truth.
Trump is so strong in supporting their operations in all of these cities.
The vice president of the United States literally said to dox people and get them fired from their jobs for making jokes about Charlie Kirk dying after Elon Musk said, make comedy legal again. Like, we're not allowed to joke about something? Oh, and there's people saying that I'm happy and celebrated Charlie Kirk dying. That's not even true. I said that was a bad thing, both like literally and also on like, you know, like a sensitive scale to say, hey, you know, this is not a good thing to have happen. I do make jokes about it because he was a fucking retard who just tried to make the division. He was really smart at organizing. He was really smart at what he did for clip farming kids and college students. But like overall, I mean, yeah, it was a bad thing that Charlie. Nobody wants political like we don't want to live in a society where people are being politically assassinated. Also, it was a bad thing because we all knew that the right was going to instantaneously blame the left. We all knew that, and that's exactly what they did. And it was some fucking white kid in Utah from a Republican family. What? Okay, I'm done. This is literally the end of the video anyway. Let's just listen to the last bit, and then I have to go get the baby.
The second and third through the side window. What is the justification for the second and third, given that the officer was out of harm's way?
You're watching the same videos that I am, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're watching the same ones, so you see how quickly the situation unfolded, how the officer was in front of the vehicle when she sped off, how she ran into him, and how he had to take quick action based on his training to defend himself and his colleagues around him.
Once he's out of
That's
harm's
very
way.
clear and factual from the videos that you can see. It's nobody's interpretation. We don't get to change it because we can see it with our eyes and we can build on the evidence that we have on the ground.
Okay. That was fucking stupid. All right. Thanks, guys. I'll see you guys later tonight around like 9 p.m., like 9 p.m., 9:30, depending on when Ash gets put to bed. Depending, you know, sometimes he's a little volatile. I'll be playing Outlast Trials with JMT. Hopefully, a few other people. If you want to play, you're welcome to join. Hop into the Discord. Shoot me a message. No first-time chatters, obviously. D-Kane, love you. Have a great night, Molly. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you guys later. See ya.
I see some dreams, will never look back. When treasure tales would fall on track. I feel screwed